Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21. It's career mode. This is episode 125, stage 5, Mount Aetna. So it's a big one here, and this is definitely going to impact the GC. This is the Giro d'Italia, and it's the first mountain stage. There's not that many mountain stages here. There are 3 time trials. There's a real chance. Now, this is a shorter stage. We're already down inside 70k, and we just passed the halfway point. Now, this is the time that I need to go get water. Sifsy, you're my guy for that, even though you are protecting Karaman. The pace has been really hot because it's a shorter stage as we go through this sprint point here. There is a 10-man break. That 10-man break, we chased it pretty hard. It split up. It broke up. And so then we sat up for a moment, got a little bit of recovery in the better, stronger, protected riders. And it allowed the front group to get back together. And then we allowed them to pull out a little bit. But again, you can see the field is not fully recovered. I mean, Martin Guerrero, without somebody protecting him, is still a little bit tired. The stamina is wearing thin for a lot of guys. Some of the riders that were off the back have come back and regained contact, but we're definitely looking at a field that's feeling the efforts of this stage so far. Now, there's only 2 categorized climbs, and we're on one of them right now. And there's not much to this one, but there's been enough undulation over a smaller number of kilometers and long gradual climbs that we've seen, this being the 3rd, 4th one coming here before we actually get into the Mount Aetna climb, that the damage that it's done and the pace being just hot enough is definitely wearing on the field. Now, Gonzalez Albiol, Karaman look good. Ryabovas, Kikochi are okay. Petrov looks good. Martin Guerrero looks good. Now, one thing that I've noticed is I didn't turn my headphones on or my recording software until I had already started the stage, and therefore my headphones are not working. You are not getting the desktop audio for the game. I was already mid-stage when that all happened, so I wasn't about to force quit and reset just to get things going. So the audio is turned up on speaker right now. You might be picking up some of it, but due to my microphone, it's probably drowning out a good portion of it. Following this stage, I'll get that fixed, and they will have audio as normal. But here we are on this penultimate climb, and again, it's another gradual one. It's 5% through here. We're putting in a good chase. Let's get up to Martin Guerrero and see who Van Sevenant from 11th place attacking here. That is a dangerous move. It's going to require a response, but the response doesn't have to come from us. Higuita, Almeida, Bernal making that response. Now, are they chasing or are they attacking? Because that looks like they are attacking. So, Ryabovas and everybody else need to respond to this. Excuse me. I smacked my microphone. There you go. Ryabovas stops the bulk of that. Did he catch everybody, though? Higuita got away, and Van Sevenant. We're going to have a descent coming here soon. Okay, pulling back. No, not pulling back. There's the 2 guys. They are working together. Pogacar, Bernal. I mean, this is an attempt to break away before Mount Aetna. They've caught those guys. We can sit up now with Ryabovas. I'm not worried about the 5 that are away. I'm worried about not having main contenders break away before we even get to the final climb and pull out a big lead where nobody's interested in chasing, because the teams that would be leading are hanging back, letting them get away. So, good respawn there. Karaman still looks good. Gonzalez Albiol looks good. Karaman, unfortunately, on a -1 race day condition. It's going to impact his stamina resistance, -1 to each of those, but otherwise no impact. But for us, these mountain stages, we need that +1 that was expected for him, because everybody else has that bonus for the difficulty level, And unlike the last two Giros where the field was not too difficult, this one, between Pogacar and Bernal, there's two excellent contenders. And then there's a wide number of pretty dang good ones as well. This is a much deeper field than what we saw. Higuita again on the attack. Let's see who responds to this one. As long as it's not responding with an attack, we'll let them chase him down. 15k to go here on the climb. Overall, Mount Aetna 16.6k, 1,800 meters of climbing. Average is 7%. It eases off near the finish, but then it gets steep again just after that. And in fact, that looks to be the steepest sector, is that final sector on your way up to the top. And then it'll ease off near the finish line just a little bit. Here goes Van Sevenent again. Do we see a response? Yes. Mataway, Yates, chasing things down, taking over. 13k to go. Sifsy, we need to use his gel now. Okay, Narbutas, still here, but we're seeing a big acceleration. It's 12k though. This is not the time yet. We want to bide our time for now. But Narbutas is protecting who? Petrov. So Ryabovas, go take over. How is Sifsy doing? This is the back end. Higuita goes onto the attack. This is a move we need to respond to. This is 15 contenders all going, and these guys aren't going to chase it down. They're going to try to join it. So it's time to take control of the race. Where's Sifsy? Sifsy's in a good place. He's going to start. We need to gel for Kwiatkowski though, as Sifsy's not going to last long pushing like this. And he is not much of a climber, but he's got good race day condition. You can see how the field is trying to go here. There's 7 riders that have gone clear, and Sifsy's going to have to push even harder here, as we are sliding backwards at the moment. But it's 10k. It's 10k. There's plenty of time here. That breakaway is long gone, by the way. And Sifsy is done. On to Kwiatkowski. And we'll push 84 for him. Karaman looking good. Sifsy, get out of the way. Blocking your own team here. And these guys go right through him. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. We can't get by, but they just breeze on past. 9k. Plenty of time here. Plenty of time to pull this back. Not like in our position, and this is about to split, and we're behind the split. That's 34 riders ahead, 37 riders ahead of us, but we're going to close that gap, and we're keeping our guys in position, and it's 8k. It's okay. Trying to be patient here, but those lead guys are definitely pulling away, and we've got to fight our way through this field. Kwiatkowski making his way through, though. He's done good. 7.4 now, and on to Petrov. Ryabovas, Martin Guerrero are not going to last too long, so we're going to have to gel up both of them. On to Petrov. And you can see we've already bridged most of the gaps, and a lot of these guys are done. Done. We're down to that group ahead of us, though. Karaman, Gonzalez Albiol, Martin Guerrero, Ryabovas, all looking pretty dang tired. We need to measure our chase here. Why is Abner Gonzalez blocking Petrov, though, when there's a whole road beside him? You can see how we're just one by one picking these guys off. Ryabovas, Martin Guerrero are about to get dropped, and Petrov actually kind of opened the gap here. So Petrov needs to open up a little bit, and then these guys get into the back end. 5.2k. I don't know why Gonzalez Albiol did not make a move to get past. He's not really following Petrov very well at the moment. 4k to go. 7 riders at the front. Still a pretty big gap to pull back. Gonzalo Salvial, I want you to sit on for a moment. It's 3.6K. Take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. Okay, now we go. Ramen gel. Take a second. Get these guys all sorted out. These two. Put them all on auto. There you go. Okay, top two guys, 2.9K, and we are definitely off the back. We're definitely looking to lose some time, but being patient and waiting is allowing us to come back at most of them. 2.2K. Get onto this group and hang on. Get onto this group. There you go. Hang on. Haig, Stor, Schkelmos, Van Sevenant. Oh, there's more ahead of this. There is more ahead of this. Uh-oh. That was, I thought, the main group. I thought that was the leaders. There's the leader. Over a minute ahead. Bernal. Climbing much faster, much better than everybody else. 1.5K. Karaman has just enough for that last little push. Maybe to bridge the gap ahead of us, but I doubt it. It's 1K to go. 1K to go. Okay, Gonzalo Salvial. Make a little push. And Karaman. What can you do? What can you do? 900 meters. 900 meters. Okay, sprint it out. Van Sevenant had something. Bernal takes the win by 45 seconds. Pogacar closed him down a bit at the end, and those two, much stronger than everybody else. And a negative race day condition, Karaman just didn't have anything to chase all of that. If he had gone solo and left his team behind, he would have been dropped a long time ago, and I think he would have finished much, much further behind than he did. 15th on this, 13th on the stage. Gonzalo Salvial was 15th. Without those bonuses, it was going to be a tough day. We took the total team effort, though, and minimized the damage. Could have been much, much worse, I think. Certainly not out of reach, but certainly not what we wanted to happen. But when you come in with a negative race day condition against these guys on that type of climb, on a kind of stage where it was up tempo throughout, everybody else has a much better flat rating than we do. They all have those bonuses. It was bound to be problematic, and it was problematic, but I really do think it could have been so much worse than it was, and saving the way we did and continuing to use the team and be patient and pull it back. Most of these guys only gained a little bit of time, except those top two. And I told you all along, those top two are going to be heavy favorites. They are so much stronger than everybody else, including Karaman. We don't have a Berlikov to hang with those guys and go when they go, and then just be patient and lose 20 seconds instead of a minute and a half or 2 minutes. Adam Yates is only a minute off, though, and most of these guys around us are still riders we can catch with those time trials. But we are going to need better race day condition. We can't afford a few of these days. We can afford one or two of these climbing days that are going to be difficult, where we are just hanging on as best we can. Grauman just is not that good of a climber. None of my guys actually are. I mean, we rank well outside of the top 20 or 30 best climbers at this race. We're nowhere near the top 10 list in terms of favorites, even with an 81 mountain. Remember, at this point, the database is crazy deep in terms of quality of riders. It takes nearly 5 stars just to make World Tour, and we weren't that comfortable when it came to making World Tour. And we have, if you remember our breakdown of our spider web of attributes as a team, we don't stand out anywhere, including GC. We are very much not a favorite here. I know we could do better than 11th position, though. But how much better? That's going to depend. I'm still hoping for third. But those two, I think, are just in a league of their own. Stage 6 was technically punchy, but there was nothing punchy about it. It was one monster climb right in the middle of the stage, and then it was totally flat otherwise. Long descent, flat finish, and it was at a point in the day where no team was interested in pushing tempo on the climb. So Everybody made it over. No one was dropped. It was a sprint finish. So we move on to stage number 7. We have 135K to go, and the action is about to kick off. It's going to be that kind of day. So Sifsy needs to go get water right now. We'll need to get water again later, but we'll get the first now. We've got back-to-back climbs coming, and that category 2 looks like, depending on the tempo, could be something. And there are riders off the back. Now, they are not off the back because of tempo, I don't think. I think they crashed, but they have not caught up, and that's a sign of the push. AG2R and somebody else is pushing pretty hard on this one, chasing down a fairly large breakaway. Luckily, it didn't double in size as it nearly did. We chased down a group that was looking to keep up with those guys, but this is looking to be a really decisive stage 7 today. It does not finish at the top of the climb, but finishing with a descent. This is the kind of day. This is the kind of day that I love to get after, as I love those descents. You attack just before the top, open up a little gap, and then push on the descent, and you hold those gaps. I love those aggressive descents. That being said, today could be that day. Not only because it's the profile that I like, but today, finally, the race day condition has gone the right direction. Karaman, +4 on his race day condition. That's an 84 mountain, that's an 82 hill rating, which is going to matter for trying to open that gap. And that's 81s on the stamina resistance. He's not getting dropped today. Martin Guerrero has a +3 to help out as well. Kikovci has a +4. Narbutas has a +4. Gonzalez Albiol, the only one who's really missed out, with a -2 on his race day condition. One thing that I noticed also entering this one is, even though we are not in the top 10 right now, I do expect to be again in the top 10 after today's stage. Expectation-wise, anyway. Sifsy's going to begin fading here, even though there's 88K to go. Will he hang on? We've got 119 left in the Peloton. He's still here, so he's okay. But anyway, I suspect that we're going to get back into that top 10. Regardless, thoughts for later on. If I still have 4 or 5 guys in and around the top 20 as we get into the later stages, that becomes a perfect opportunity to start sending daily one of those guys outside of the top 10 but inside the top 20 into breakaways where they could gain some significant time. The reason why you don't do it now on stage 7 when I have 5 guys between 11th and 19th, the reason you don't do it now is it doesn't make sense to do it now. You can see the breakaway is already being reeled in. The breakaway is not winning the stage today. Why? Because it's the first 7 stages. Because it's only the second mountain stage. Guys aren't out of contact yet. It's the last 8 to 10 stages where you really start to see large breakaways, get huge leads, and win stages. That's the time to do it, not now. So for now, we still ride for our leader, we still ride for Karaman, and we still try as best we can to get those guys into strong positions, but ultimately have it be about Karaman. Now, these guys are a little far back from my liking, but we have plenty of descending to do. They'll regain a little bit of ground right now before we go up again. Then we have a lengthy descent, so they'll be fine. They will be fine. Sifsy, though, is not. He's gone out the back, and that means we need to replace somebody. Anybody? Let's get... Oof, Petrov. Poor Petrov. Petrov, take a break. You need to recover. Martin Guerrero, go ahead and protect Karaman for now. You will recover on the descent. Alright, we go over the top of that one. Now we'll get that lengthy descent. And we're at 70K to go. This is the time to get water. But who's the lucky man? These guys are all too tired. Narbutas, rest. Bovis, go ahead and go get the water. Let's hope Sifsy doesn't suddenly regain contact and then force Ryabovus to go way back. I'd like him to be most of the way back to the front before we hit the next climb here, because you have that plateau in between, but I doubt there's going to be much recovery through there. The recovery is right now during this descent. From 10, we're down to 7 at the front. One man nearly has been caught. Ryabovus not making up much ground. There's others that we're seeing accelerate and move forward, and Ryabovus has been sitting in the same position throughout the descent. He has not moved up at all, even though today he's got a 72 downhill rating. He made 0 progress the entire descent. Now, we have seen a big acceleration here. We are drifting back too fast. So let's go ahead and up the tempo a bit. 79. They are pushing early. 56K to go, and the water task is done for Ryabovus. Now he's locked back in on a 75. He was being protected by somebody, but
some team
that's okay.
Mustn't
We're going to
appreciate
let
the
these
fact
guys
that there is
be.
a breakaway, given that the pack
88 chasing 7. Their gap just a minute and a half. And we reach the top of the plateau. We'll be up here for a little while. 51K to go. Sifsy is 8 minutes behind, so we will not see him again. 85 left. That's definitely a diminished Peloton. I mean, that's roughly half eliminated, and we only have one guy out. But that's a sign of bringing a climbing team. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 37K to go. This is quite the climb, isn't it? 21 kilometers, 6%. Max is 9.7. The max is up till the halfway point. So from about a third to a halfway point is where you're seeing the steepest section. We want to start making a move following that. So I'd like to kind of sit on through that first part. Let's make sure everybody's in place here. Nope, not that far back. Okay, everybody's nice up front. I think 82 is probably a good starting point here.
Has significantly increased its speed.
We'll go ×2 speed for a little while here in the early portion of the climb. 20K to go up this climb, 30K on the stage. That's 10K of descending. Let's take a brief look at the profile of the descent. It does ease off a little bit, so it could burn some energy, meaning it's not going to be the easiest to hold off pursuers. Down to 84 riders, just one dropped so far, but we are literally just getting started. Gap at the front at just a minute 20, so those guys are already in sight. They're not far ahead, and we are through the first portion, getting into the ease off and then into the hardest portion. It's after that I want to make that move, like I said, and we're down to 66. 13K. Let's get through this steepest portion.
They're moving along at a fair lick. You've just got to hang on.
Whoa. Here we go. We are going to go like this. We're going to go like this. And who can you protect? Narbutas. Since you are looking tired, you have lower stamina resistance. Go ahead and protect somebody who is hanging in there a little bit better, because it looks like you're not going to last too much longer. And if you're going to be of use, this is the way to do it. Last 3 riders have been reeled in, and we are seeing Adam Yates on the attack. But it's after this section that I want to have my go, so let's be patient. Let RTL Bagioli do the chasing. It's only a 30-second advantage. After this, left-hander, I think, is where it's going to ease off a bit. 9%, and we drop 7%. And yes, it's about to ease up. I'm down 3 guys, but we're down to 10K on the climb, and Karaman looks good. Alright, here we go. We have Kikochi, and I don't think I was the only one with this idea. We want to gel. Gosh, those guys are all tired. Those guys are really tired. And Narbutas, Martin Guerrero's up front. Here we go. You're seeing an attack right through here. But while they attack and we are patient, we're not losing ground. Martin Guerrero, hang out in the middle, that's fine. The attack is coming from Yates again. Hagita is chasing, Pogacar going with him. And Narbutas is costing us some ground right now, isn't he? Just a little bit. Karaman, use your space, buddy. Stop following Narbutas. Jeez, look how far Martin Guerrero just got. Karaman loves his teammate so much. And now, look who just got away. Easy, Karaman, easy. You're not a great climber. Today, you're a good climber, though.
The finish line is getting close. The riders have just
Still
passed the
6K
15
to go.
kilometers road sign.
Okay, Pogacar, Hagita, and then Yates and Bernal. Follow. Okay, Warburton's with me. Hey, I just told you to go auto. Thanks.
And he spurts away from the group.
For now, we
He's
sit
going
on.
for
We have
victory.
4K. 4K is still a ways to go. These two look like no problem catching them. It's the other one, which would be Bernal, right? With Yates? I'm confused. They are front. There's one rider in between. Or no, they've split up from each other. Bernal has ridden away from Yates. But he's the only one today. I'm okay losing time to him if we can gain time on everybody else. 2.7K. Now's the gel time. And we've caught those two. And we're down to just one man in between. And with 2K, watching. We want to be able to attack with just over 1K to go. Coming up on that 1K. There's the gel. 1.3K. And here we go. Break free. And now climb at a good tempo. Okay, Almeida's gone with me, but that's okay. If we're gaining time on everybody else, especially if we're catching these two at the front, we are in contention.
The finishing line is not far off as we're into the last descent.
Front four. We have a front four. Okay, we're in. I still needed to close that gap down a little bit. Yates is doing the work right now. Remember, it's going to flatten out a little bit.
5 kilometers to the
Going to
finish
flatten
line.
out a little bit. Slow it down. 4.5K to go. We have a 49-second advantage. We are back in contention for this race. We're not going to gain time on these three, but we are in a strong position otherwise. Yates is doing the work, which means we're poised for a top 3 probably. 1.8K. We're going to sprint early. It's a descent. There you go. See, everybody else is going too. Oh, come on. Can we not get a top 3? Seriously?
He snatched victory in that mass sprint
Karaman
finish.
is no
He can thank
sprinter.
his teammates
He was the
who led out
first
in perfect
to
conditions.
go.
The race
He
is
was
run,
third
but the
wheel,
four
mind
souls
you,
bringing up the
but he
rear
was the
continually
first to
across
go.
the
He
line.
was
It's
second
a bit
wheel
of a knock for the
at the
morale.
time that the accelerations picked up with everybody moving. He still had red bar, yet he was unable to overtake anyone outside of that initial gain to that bike length to go third wheel to second wheel, and then he just lost ground to everybody else. Even though he doesn't get a time bonus for the stage, perfectly okay. We do make gains today with Karaman. Martin Guerrero gets 25th, Narbutas 26th, Gonzalez Albiol 34th, Riabovas was 31st, Petrov was 40th. Those guys are still going to be in a decent place in the GC, but Karaman is going to move back up the order a bit. I don't know if he's going to move into fourth. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think he has gained enough ground, certainly to get back in the top 10, and maybe I'd say 7th-ish is my estimate. 42-second advantage over 2 chasers, 47 to the third, 52 to the fourth, and then it starts to open up a bit more. And remember, we had a 2-minute deficit on Bernal. We gained back 42 seconds on Pogacar, and so Bernal now leads with a minute 15 advantage over Yates, Almeida, and then Pogacar. There's your top 4. We moved up to 6, so I was pretty close to my estimate. I was thinking 7th. Higuita, still very much in range right now. Top 5 looks entirely possible with the time trialing, 2 of those still to come, and mountain stages becoming less and less. Bernal, though, it's going to be really hard to catch him. He's okay as a time trialist. Adam Yates doesn't have as much of an advantage, so you can gain some ground on him. Almeida, tough to overtake. Same with Pogacar. Higuita, though, that's one that you can easily catch. Karaman, with a 79 time trial, can definitely gain some ground on 3 of those guys. But only one of those looks on the easier side of catching these guys right now. I'd say right now we're looking more like 5th place than cracking the top 3. Behind us, plenty of threats still. Plenty of threats. Got to be careful. Martin Guerrero, 14th. Gonzalo Salvial is 20th. We have thinned out our position, but these guys are getting far enough behind that they could absolutely attack and get into the break and be up the road and maybe gain some time back and improve their position potentially into the top 10. Remember, we had a Tour de France that saw more than half of the top 10 be made up of guys who had lost gobs of time and then attacked and multiple breakaway stages and gained huge chunks, and were able to do that when we couldn't. Those kind of guys, I think, could attack and not be a threat, even though it was riders that were better than Karaman. They just didn't want us to go. Anyway, that's the AI for you. 6th place, good position right now. Obviously, we would want better, but considering that negative race day condition a couple stages ago, this is what we can do with a good race day condition. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.